Welcome to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, the home for financial advice in a language you can understand. Created by Marc Freedman of Freedman Financial, he and his team of certified financial planner professionals will discuss timely topics that help individuals and families make smart financial decisions. And now, get ready for this week's edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial.
Welcome back to another edition of Dollars and Cents from Freedman Financial, our weekly podcast where we provide you with financial advice in a language you can understand. I am your host today, Marion Gilman, and I'm here with my co-host,
Christian Karcher.
How do you like that? We have a new voice today. So Mark is traveling, and actually he will be back next week, however. So we are filling in for him. Hopefully, we can provide great advice too.
Is it weird to be the host instead of the co-host?
It is definitely, it's definitely strange to do the introduction because that's not usually what I do, as you all know. In any event, delighted to be here with you today, Christian.
Absolutely.
Christian always has some great advice for us. And today we had a very special topic, don't we?
That's right. It's something that keeps coming up, and it's happening with more and more frequency, where people are coming into the office, and they might be clients of the office, or they might have just heard about us, and they might not be doing financial planning with us. But what they say is, I'm trying to help with my parents' financial stuff.
Right.
They are declining. They need some support. I have no idea where to even begin. How can you help us?
Yeah, and this is a tough one. I think that we actually have a fair amount of clients. We've been around a long time, so we have a lot of clients who have been with us for many, many, many years. And they tend to be also, sort of thinking about aging, thinking about consolidating. But when they first come to us, we see that they have accounts in a variety of places. And honestly, even if you're young or, in the middle-age lifespan, you tend to collect a variety of different accounts. Checking accounts here, savings accounts there. Back in the day, there used to be a lot of stock held at transfer agents or stock certificates. So all these things are out there. So what do we suggest, Christian, when people come to us and say, I'm trying to help my parents? What do I need to do?
Yeah, where do you even begin?
Yeah, exactly.
And for a lot of our clients who have come on and been through our financial planning process, I'm going to tell you to start in the same place that we start for all of our financial plans, which is getting a snapshot of, in this case, your parents' financial situation today.
Absolutely.
And the most crucial element of that is getting an accurate net worth statement that says, here is where everything is, here's what it is worth, and here is who owns it. Making sure we understand all of that, making sure we've got those savings bonds recorded somewhere, making sure we've got the stock certificates tracking, making sure we know where they are.
Right.
How much they're worth so that they don't get lost and end up in abandoned property one day and having to reopen a 10-year-old estate to try to figure out how to claim this thing.
Right.
So that is...
And I think one of the most important things that a lot of people don't realize is how an account is titled. And that is critical because many people think, we have a stock certificate. We have a stock certificate. So it's maybe in a husband and wife's name. But that may not be the case. That's not a good assumption. And it's really critical as to how that's titled in case one of you passes away.
Absolutely. We see all the time people say, we have a stock certificate.
Right.
And especially with these stock certificates that now at this point, they don't issue stock certificates anymore.
No.
But when they did, it was, at this point, 30, 40 years ago.
Sure.
And so they'll bring in the stock certificate and all of a sudden we notice, this is in a maiden name. And there's another joint owner on it. Who is this? It is your parents' deceased parent.
Right.
And so understanding who is owning these documents and cleaning it up can really save you a lot of time in the long run when eventually it does go through the estate process.
And I will say that doing this, and I know it can be an uncomfortable process, particularly if it's a child trying to help a parent, but doing this before a parent passes away is so much better, because I don't know how many times we've had clients come in that say, you know, my father passed away and I'm going through his stuff and I'm finding all of these random things. I mean, it can be really difficult too to actually understand what's out there, and you get nervous. Did I miss something? Is there something big still out there? Usually the parents know they have certain things. They don't know where it is. Maybe they might have lost track of it. But if you can clean that up and consolidate before your parent passes away, it is so much better.
That's right. And the other very important thing is to start looking at their cash flow and seeing how their bills are being paid.
Right.
One of the core elements of personal finance, I find, is automating as much as you can so you don't have to think about it. It takes the friction out of the system. So a lot of older people will like to write handwritten checks for their utility bills,
Right.
and for gifts and different things, and charitable contributions. Well, as people age and they start to forget things, well, what if they forget to write that check, or they don't remember, they don't track it? So if you can help them set things up automatically so that those bills are getting paid automatically, if there is a major decline or a major accident where they're hospitalized for an extended period of time, having those bills automated will help reduce a lot of the stress of making sure the bills are getting paid.
And remember, I mean, you know, you as a child might not know exactly what bills need to be paid to run your parents' household. And, you know, let's say one of them goes into the hospital and the other one doesn't know the bill system either. So you're stuck. And you know what? They want to stay in the house. They don't want to miss any payments. So you need to be quite vigilant about that. An interesting thing also happened. We had an occurrence years ago where a parent passed away quite untimely at a rather young age, and the daughter was trying to settle the estate and go through all the you know what's going on, was paying bills, and all of a sudden saw a life insurance payment go out automatically, and that's how she found out that there was life insurance and she was the beneficiary.
Amazing.
So it was amazing. And so some of these things, although you think, oh, well, yeah, automation, well, maybe it doesn't work, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. You know what? Sometimes it's a lot better than trying to remember to do it every month.
That's absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing, we can't stress enough how much easier it is if you actually can consolidate into one account, or, you know, 2 accounts maybe. But if you have 10 checking accounts, it is so much easier for all concerned, while you're alive even, just to keep it, to narrow it down. Get rid of some of those extraneous things. You can't be paying bills out of 10 checking accounts, I would guess. But I'm not, you know, who am I to say? But
yeah, and the other place where consolidation becomes really beneficial to the eventual distribution of an estate is in retirement accounts.
yes.
If you have 5 different IRAs, imagine this, you've got 4 children. You
Yeah.
want to split it a quarter, and you have 5 different accounts with 5 different people or banks or CDs, whatever. At each of those locations, the heirs will have to set up, all 4 of them will have to set up new accounts in their own names, then distribute it, so that in the end, 5 different IRAs to 4 beneficiaries, that's 20 new accounts that are going to have to be opened if
crazy.
you don't consolidate it. If it's just 1, you can get it down to 4, which
Yeah.
really smooths out the process and makes it easier for your eventual heirs.
And the other, the other recommendation we always have, even for younger people, and we actually see this a lot with, let's say, 30-year-olds who've gone through several jobs. They have a variety of 401ks, and you just lose track of those over time. And it is really critical. I mean, when you leave a job, I would tell you automatically take that 401k with you, roll it into your new plan if you can, or roll it into an outside IRA. make sure that all stays together. Don't leave stuff behind. We have seen people lose track of big accounts that way.
You would be surprised at the size of
Yes.
accounts that get
Yes.
lost,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
end up in either abandoned property or discovered years later.
Absolutely. And the other, another critical item is to be sure your estate documents are all in good order.
That's right. We actually just recently had a situation where, a client said, "Hey, can you help us understand our parents' situation? They're going into a nursing facility and there's some memory care involved. We just want to make sure we have everything." And they had the parents had moved up from Florida to Massachusetts to be close to their children, to be at a care facility here, and their estate planning documents had been written in Florida. Well, Massachusetts has an estate tax, and so the structure of those estate planning documents, while they made a lot of sense for Florida, didn't make a lot of sense in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So being sure to understand those consequences and making sure to get those documents updated when necessary in advance of those long-term care situations.
Right. Also, make sure you have the appropriate power of attorney on there as well. I always tell people, wills are important, but you'll be dead. So, and I mean, that's a terrible way to say it, but in all honesty,
you don't have to deal with the stress.
You don't have to deal with it. But, and also, hopefully you've named the right people that get your money, but again, you'll be dead, so it's okay. But power of attorney is a critical document, and you want to name a trusted person. Don't leave your parents on there after your parents have long passed away or something like that. Because if you are incapacitated and somebody needs to step in and take care of your finances while you're incapacitated, you want somebody you trust. You don't want just it's not a random person, but you might not want one of your siblings over another.
Right, or one of your children over another.
That's exactly right. So you want to be sure you have the right person on there. That's not always necessarily your oldest child either.
Right, it's probably the one who's closest to home,
Right.
Has a good head on their shoulders for bill paying and
Right.
finance in general.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into picking the right power of attorney.
And the same holds true for a healthcare proxy. Once again, you want somebody that will follow your wishes and make the decisions you would have made in that case. So you want to be sure to take a look at those documents every once in a while. Probably, what would you say, every 4 or 5 years, Christian?
Yeah, particularly as you age, every 5 years, especially if you have new children or grandchildren.
Right.
Especially if you are moving states.
Right.
Or you buy or sell any large pieces of property. I think those are the 3 times when you want to make sure, it might not be redrafting those documents, but make sure they still line up with what you want.
Absolutely. So, I think that's great advice. And you know what, for any of you out there now's the time to get serious about your money, and you want to be sure that everything is consolidated that you want to make sure that you have a net worth statement, you have a snapshot of what's going on. Feel free to give us a call. We're here, 978-531-8108. That's 978-531-8108. Or you can visit us on the web and go to freedmanfinancial.com. That's Freedman.
2 E's and a D.
Financial.com. Scroll to the bottom of any page. You can sign up for our weekly newsletter. Comes out at 10:30 every Friday morning. And once again, we provide financial advice in a language you can understand in that newsletter as well. So if now's the time, please move forward, give us a call. That'll be it for us. That's it for us this week, and it's time for us to move along. And,
That's right.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we'll be back next week with financial advice in a language you can understand.
Have a great week and enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
During today's episode of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, your host may have discussed specific financial planning and investment ideas that are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Please remember that investing involves risk and may include loss of principal. Always consult a certified financial planner professional, qualified attorney, or tax advisor prior to investing to determine what is appropriate for you. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.